My name is Izzy Vine, I'm 30 years old and I worked for the Met Police, and I left because it's rotten to the core. I worked between 2020 to the end of 24 as a communications officer. I sat next to a colleague in 2023 who called a rape victim a slut, wished immigrants would fuck off back home, mimicked Sarah Everard's death into my ear whilst I was on a live 999 call, and followed my journey half home. I reported this, he was dismissed for gross misconduct, and he was sacked. 4 months later, I was notified that he'd appealed, he'd won, and he'd been rehired. He'd also been given back all the pay that he'd missed between being dismissed and returned, and his annual leave too. I couldn't understand this, so I met with the decision maker who rehired him, and he said he still believes me, it was still proven. He just thought it was too harsh to dismiss someone for this, and that violence against women and girls and the Casey report bear too much influence on the original panel, which was 2 women and a male. I escalated this and I was ping-ponged for months between a grievance and the professional standards department, to which the professional standards finally took it on and said it was very serious. They took it to a deputy assistant commissioner, and I waited 5 months, chased it myself, to find out that my complaint had not been dealt with, hadn't been passed to the deputy assistant commissioner, and he didn't know who I was. I had to leave due to a decline in mental health. I became suicidal. I was going to work after nearly crashing my car. I was begging to not be put on high-risk incidents because I was mentally unwell and I was suicidal, and it would be a risk to public safety and officer safety, but due to business needs, the Met trumped that and put me on it twice, so I had to leave. I am now bringing this to attention because we are not safe if the Met and any police force in the UK continue to prioritise business needs, reputation over the decency of the staff and officers within it. I'm calling for a public statutory inquiry into what went wrong in my case and why someone who has these harmful opinions and escalates into predatory behaviour is allowed to keep their job. We'll also look into any retaliation into whistleblowers, how independent the IOPC is, and much, much more that is needed. We need to stop just letting the Met promise that they'll do better. We need to start holding them accountable. We need to start holding power accountable and stop waiting for promises and sorries, because that's just not good enough anymore. It just doesn't cut it. And I don't want to live in a society where predators are able to be in positions of authority. I will not have it. I will not stand by for it, and I will keep shouting about it.